I only married you because of your looks. I'm not interested in you now. After the pregnancy, you got ugly day by day. My loving husband cruelly told me when I came home after giving birth to the twins. All the things I had shared with him, all the memories we shared, all of it just crumbled away. He simply cut me off, as if I was no longer of any value to him. After the birth of my children, I was left with only one task: to be his housekeeper. My husband threatened me with the divorce if I refused. I was deeply disappointed in him. I've had enough of this. I will tell the truth to this selfish husband right here, right now. I wonder how he would react when he finds out everything. I smiled to myself quietly. My name is Lauren. I got married 6 years ago with my husband Brody. When we first got married, my father lent me a plot of land in his name. He also left me $50,000 to put a down payment on a house. He was so happy that I got married. We decided to use the money as a down payment and build a house on the land. We both had enough money saved up, and our monthly income was fine. We decided to build a custom-built house in my husband's name, not a house for sale. 6 years have passed since our marriage, and I am carrying 2 babies in my tummy. After 4 years of fertility treatment, we finally blessed with our children. We were told that both of them would be boys. As an only child, having a brother or sister was an unknown world to me. I am now in a stable period and 6 months pregnant. At first, my husband and I had planned to get all the baby stuff together as soon as possible. But I'm not ready for that yet, because my husband says he is busy at work. He seemed to be working overtime almost every day. If I don't get the baby stuff within the next month, I wouldn't be ready until I go back to my hometown to have the babies. I knew I was running out of time, so I decided to ask my husband firmly. Recently, he comes home from work after 11 p.m. I usually go to bed before he does, but I rubbed my sleepy eyes and waited for him to come home. Finally, at 11:30 p.m., I heard the front door open. My husband appeared in the living room, and I immediately started talking to him. "Welcome home, Brody." "Hey, what is it?" "I'm tired." "We need to get all the baby stuff together soon. I don't have much time." "I'm going home next month, remember?" "I'm busy. You can do it on your own." "What?" "We talked about going to the store together." "I said I'm busy. You're on maternity leave, and I'm struggling to make ends meet." "But I took maternity leave early, but it's not because I don't want to work. Since it will be twins, it is only natural to prepare carefully and early. Even my husband knows that I have to go back to my parents' house in a few weeks. I wonder if he can't even make time for just one day. I understand that he's busy, but when I think of our unborn children, I can't afford to be sloppy in my preparations. Normally, I would have given up, but on this day, I was different. Please, Brody, just one day." "I told you I'm busy." "Now, shut it." "Why? Why did you suddenly become so busy? You've been working overtime every day. You've even started working on weekends." "That's..." "What? Can you tell me the reason?" "You make it sound like it's my fault." "I didn't say that. I'm just asking why you were so busy." "Shut up." "I'm not going anyway. You know, There's the internet and everything. Then he pulled a couple $100 bills out of his wallet and slammed them on the table. Take that money and buy baby stuff. I was sad and angry at the same time by his heartless comment. If he can't do what I'm asking him to do, there's no point in talking to him anymore. I gave up going with him and asked my mother to accompany me shopping in my hometown. A month later, on the day of the trip, my husband was at work. When I first found out I was pregnant, whenever I visit my parents, he always drove me there. But this time, he said he couldn't because he was busy. I had no choice but to call my father to come and pick me up. In the car on the way to my parents' house, my father opened his mouth a little angrily. Brody was going to give you a ride home, wasn't he? I didn't know what to say. I heard he's been busy with work lately. Your mother told me you were going shopping for baby stuff with her, right? You were going to get it with Brody, weren't you? I told you he can't. He's busy. Even if he's busy with work, he could at least go shopping, you know? I've asked him many times too, but he's just said he doesn't have time. I see. My father still looked like he wanted to say something. I didn't want to talk about my husband anymore, so I turned my attention outside. I guess he knew how I felt. He drove me home without saying a word. A few months later, I gave birth to twins. I'd been in the care of my parents for 2 months. Today is the day I go back to my husband's after a long time. I can finally take my children and go back to my life with my husband. Normally, I would be happy to see him today, but my feelings were indescribable. There was a heaviness in my heart because my husband never once came to see me to my parents' house. Not only during my pregnancy, and even after our sons were born. Not even for a single day. I tried to contact him many times. His response was, I'm busy. I don't have time to come over. I was beyond angry. Even my parents were furious. So my parents contacted Brody several times, but he never responded. In the car on the way home, my father became a little irritated and broached the subject. If you go back to Brody and think it's impossible to live with him, you can call me any time. I'll come and get you. Thank you, Dad. I'm glad you said that. You're the one who chose him, and I don't want to think he's too bad of a guy. But Brody's attitude is unforgivable. I'll have a little chat with him when we get home. Okay, but I don't know if he'll be there. I don't care. Let me wait with you until he gets home. Thank you, Dad. I'd appreciate it. I'm sure Brody will change his attitude a little if he got a direct order from my dad. With this faint hope in my heart, I returned home with my father. I came home for the first time in months. When I inserted the key into the keyhole of the front door, then I felt a strange sensation. It wouldn't go all the way in. No matter how many times I tried, I couldn't get the key all the way in. Fortunately, the lights were on. I know that my husband is already home. So I pressed the intercom and hear a woman's voice. As I stood there, the front door opened. A strange woman came out of the door. She looks puzzled and called out to me. Excuse me? Who are you? This is my house. What? My husband bought this house about 2 months ago. 2 months ago? I was shocked that I couldn't help but raise my voice. She reacted as if she had just thought of something. Ah, are Are you Brody's wife, by any chance? Yes. How do you know my husband? My husband bought this house from Brody, a senior colleague of his at work. What do you mean he bought it? We had a baby last year, and we didn't have time to move. We're thinking of building a house, and Brody gave us a reasonable price. We paid $50,000 in one lump sum, and the rest will be paid in installments. Well, of course you know that because you're his wife. I'm sorry. My father and I looked at each other. We knew it was more than just a coincidence. The couple, Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, were kind enough to let us have some time. I immediately called my husband and asked him to explain the situation. Hey, Brody! What the hell is going on? Oh, you're back. My husband sounded annoyed over the phone. You, housekeeper. Skipping chores, leaving the house for a long time. Cut the crap. Just explain to me why someone else is living in our house. Did you sell it? Are you crazy? What? It doesn't matter. The house is in my name. Huh? Where the hell are you, anyway? I'm staying at Hilton with my girlfriend. Girlfriend? Yeah. I just sent it to you. Look at the picture. Attached to the message on my phone was a picture of my husband cuddling with a young woman. For all intents and purposes, they are as close as lovers can get. I still can't wrap my head around this situation. And he confronts me with an unforgiving reality. Look, I only married you because of your looks. I'm not interested in you now. After the pregnancy, you got ugly day by day. What? Are you serious? Yeah. That's why I started having a relationship with her. You started getting fat and bloated. Anyway, I'm going to live with her. And you are going to be my housekeeper from this day forward. Housekeeper? Are you kidding me? I'll send you my address. Come here quickly. He hung up the phone and sent me the address of the hotel. You've got to be kidding me. At the moment, I felt an inexpressible anger flare up like a flame. My father's face, who was listening to the whole thing, was burning too. I could see his body trembling with anger. Mrs. Patterson looks at us with a curious gaze. I called out to her to tell them the truth. Excuse me, is your husband here? Yes, he is. I'd like to talk to him. Could you go get him? Okay. One moment, please. After that, I showed him the photos my husband had sent me and explained the situation. Apparently, my husband's affair partner was a colleague at the same company. Mr. Patterson was deeply surprised. When he was furious and said he could not forgive my husband, his wife was the same. As a parent with a child, they can't forgive what my husband did, they said. When I was about to contact my husband again, he called me just in time. I took a deep breath and pressed the answer button. What? He yelled through the phone. Hey, you're gonna keep me waiting forever. Get your ass over here and cook us dinner. I tell him calmly. I'm not going to be your housekeeper. What? I'm offering you a job here. To be my housekeeper. If you don't like it, I'll divorce you. You don't know anything. What? What do you mean? What don't I know? The Pattersons are suing you. What? As soon as he heard the word sue, my husband turned weak. He sounded anxious, and I told him the truth. Suing? Why? Because you deceived them.
What are you talking about? I didn't deceive them. I just sold them a house in my name, at a discount.
Yeah? You sold the house? But what about the land?
What? No way. The land.
Remember? This land doesn't belong to you. It's in my father's name. The only reason we haven't had to pay for the land so far is that my father owns it. So if you and the Patterson's family want to live here, you'll have to pay for the land every month. Did you explain that to them? My husband's voice is inarticulate as I explain the situation. Perhaps he's not quite grasping the situation, so I carefully break down what I had told him so that even he could understand. My father said he will charge you for the land if someone else lives in the house. But the Pattersons never heard that from you. They said that when they bought the house, the land was never mentioned.
Well, that's...
There's only one solution here. Either you buy the land from them, or you can pay for the land. By the way, they said they would sue you if you don't pay for the land. For fraud. You know.
Fraud? No, wait a minute. I don't have that kind of money.
You got your $50,000. They'll pay for a while.
I can't afford it. I've already spent all the money on the hotel and vacationed with my girlfriend. Please, Lauren, do something. Ask your father to give the land to the Pattersons for free.
Even after all this, he's still trying to get by, taking no responsibility. He's still trying to use me to save his ass. I'm so disgusted with him that I can't speak. As I fell silent, my husband continued to plead with me.
Hey, are you listening to me, Lauren? I'll leave her. I'll help you raise the kids. So please, ask your father to do something about it. Look, your husband's asking for help. Do something.
If he had come to see me and the twins just once, it might have changed the outcome. But instead of coming to see me, he sold the house on his own. He used the money to stay at a luxury hotel with the woman he cheated on me with. And he treated me like a housekeeper after the babies were born. I have no sympathy for such a person. I fought back in anger that was rising in me and vented my resentment. You son of a bitch. You want my help? Who the hell do you think you are? Do you have any idea what an asshole you've been to me? I've suffered so much because of you. And you think one flimsy apology will get you forgiveness?
Lauren, wait, calm down.
How can I calm down under such circumstances? You cheat on your wife and sell the house without asking. And to top it all off, you want me to be your housekeeper? You've got to be kidding me. I'm not stupid to let you take advantage of me. I don't need another piece of shit like you. I don't want you in my life anymore. So, get out of my sight. I ended the call and immediately blocked my husband's contact information. All that remained was to divorce this scumbag of a husband. After that, Brody apologized to the Patterson. But they are on my side. They said they would sue him if he didn't pay for the land. Finally, Brody brought the land from my father, and the problem was solved. I hired a lawyer to file a claim against Brody and his partner for the alimony. In addition, I demanded child support from him. He had to move out of the Hilton, of course. He and his mistress seemed to broke up. Mr. Patterson made my husband's affair known to the company. The mistress resigned because she couldn't take it anymore. Brody became distant from everyone around him and completely isolated. However, he had accumulated a lot of payments, so he cannot quit the company. For some time to come, almost all of his income will be used to pay his bills. He will not be able to live a life of freedom for some time to come. I, on the other hand, went back to my parents' house right after that. I explained the situation to the company, and they made me work remotely, so I was able to return to work without incident. There will be times in the future when my children will be inconvenienced by their father's absence. Even so, I want to raise them with a lot of love and care.